Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video we're going through the trade targets for round 19, going through the most traded in as well as we'll do the most traded out as well, just to see who people are moving on, as it gives a greater insight into sort of the movement, as we all talk about like who are we trading in, but sometimes you forget about who you're actually trading out, especially sometimes the rookies, and you may have actually traded out a guy that's probably going to actually do well. So anyway, before we jump into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into this video. So as you can see here, we have the most traded in, and Taylor we talk about in the rookies. We always do this, the cash cows. We talk about them in a separate video. Tom Stewart, I actually really like this, and I like this for a specific reason that I feel like, and I think this is something I was watching, I think it was Bales last night, and his way of thinking about this is, I don't think the trade of the way in which Hayden Young's progressing at the moment, I don't think it's going to be damaging going to the likes of a Tom Stewart. Tom Stewart is absolutely smashing it at the moment. In this new role, if we go to CBAs, let me bring up the likes of Geelong. Here we go. I want to see if it's 3 or 4 games he's been in this role. He's been in this role 3 games, 83, 72, 85. And we look 16, 17, 18. So we look here and we go, he's gone 105, 125, 113 in that run. He's got the Western Bulldogs, who if we actually go to, I don't need that anymore. If we go to here and we go to defense first position, then we go to midfielders. Well, Western Bulldogs are down in this minus 3.42 bracket. Not the worst, not the best, so be it. Then he's got North, Adelaide, Fremantle. North are down the bottom here. Let me just see this. I just want to see. Because Taylor Adams played a bloody half forward role and they still name him on ball. Okay. I don't see too much. And Clayton Oliver had a stinker. Yes. And Josh Dacos, but he's a winger. Connor Rosie also got injured in that run. So let me actually change that to a minus last 5, and that should even it out just a fraction bit, I would think. North are now a minus 3, and Western Bulldogs minus 4. So it is a slightly negative thing, but if he's going like 110, I don't think it's that bad. If I just go here, North, Adelaide, Fremantle. Adelaide and Fremantle. If we go here, Adelaide are at plus 3 and Fremantle are minus 3. Have Fremantle had any like positive major ones? They had an Errol Goulden 82. They tagged him. Oh, they tagged a lot of the Swans in that, didn't they? Yeah. So Matt Norans. So it will be interesting to see how this works. With Tom Stewart, but I'm leaning towards doing the Hayden Young to Tom Stewart flip, just because if you look at Young's numbers, and we'll get to this in the out section, so I'll leave it at pretty much that, but you'll see that he doesn't really have too much of a ceiling, whereas I think Tom Stewart can have a ceiling score of like a 130 score, because he's known to have high mark games. So if he can get that big game where he has that like 30 kicks or whatever, or 25 kicks, that's when he's really going to lay it up. Greer Myers, I also think this one is an alright option. He hasn't been used in the midfield, but as a general forward, I believe this was also brought up here. He's got Western Bulldogs, who are a minus 1. So if you're a general forward, you basically want Collingwood, West Coast Eagles, and Port Adelaide in the last, given their last 5. And he's got just West Coast Eagles. So, and he just played Collingwood, so it sort of shows why I think that a guy like a Dylan Moore is probably going to do really well this weekend, is because Dylan Moore has the Collingwood matchup. So, yeah, Collingwood and West Coast Eagles for all of those guys there. And I'm pretty sure Dylan Moore might actually be on the highest rated out list just because of that, because of that low game. Lawson Humphries, we talked about the rookies, Zane Drew, rookies, Isaac Heaney, for all those people that traded him and then traded him out. I didn't bother doing that trade just because I didn't really gain anything out of it. I was more valuable. What did I actually do? I don't think I I haven't got my trades in here, so I can actually go back and look at the round 18. What did I do? I did, Fraser and Gawn out, because Gawn, who's apparently now going to be a 1 weeker, figures, right? But you've got, Gawn and Rosie, so there was no actual value with me trading out an Isaac Kenny for a 1 weeker, given that he was going to be back and I didn't gain anything out of doing it. So for those trading Isaac Kenny back in, good. Jai Caldwell, also love this as well. He's probably also a VC option for a lot of people, him or Nick Martin, just because of all the chaos of West Coast playing on the Saturday afternoon, the first game, or the first set of games, that 1:45 time slot, has meant that we have very limited availability for the likes of captaincy options. That's why I probably actually should have stayed away from the likes of Clay Hawke and gone for another team like a North Melbourne or something that wasn't going to play, or another like a Richmond guy that wasn't going to play. That would actually probably have helped more for captaincy. But anyway, learnings we take. Caldwell, Dunkley, I like this option as well. He's a high chance of coming into my side just because he is ultra consistent. And you'll see here, he had a bad sort of run for 3 weeks. But aside from that, like, his lowest score is a 79. And then it's an 87, 90, 96, and then it's tons. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4 games out of 17 have been non-tons. So 13 out of 17 strike rate for tons is absolutely huge. He's going to be, I think, the top rated midfielder come the end of the year. Zach Butters, I actually wouldn't go here. And I know this is something that a lot of people like, but he's gone 136, 133. But if you actually, and he's currently, that's just because I pulled back my team. I rolled it back. So he's actually considered, but he's not going to be captain, I can tell you that. It's probably going to be Tim English. But Zach Butters, I wouldn't actually be going here just because Richmond have tagged the last 2 games, I believe. And I don't know who they played in those last 2 because I've completely forgotten. But last week they played Giants and they tagged... who did they tag in the end? I can't remember who they tagged, but they tagged someone. And then the week before that, I think Graham's been doing some tag work, from what I remember. The week before that, they played Fremantle, and they tagged Caleb Sarong to a 77. The week before that, did they tag anyone in this game? They played Carlton, and they tagged, I think, Sam Walsh. No, they didn't tag Sam Walsh. They didn't tag Sam Walsh. He destroyed them, and then they decided to tag the best midfielder from there on out. So I think they will tag Zach Butters, given what they did to Sarong. I think that Graham will go there again and do that. Sheila Green we talked about. Sean Manor we talked about. Phillip who's injured, so get him out. Dylan Moore is actually 1.4k traded in. I think this actually could be. It's a risky move, but if you need a forward and you've already got Heaney, Caldwell, Flanders, Zorko, is that 4? So yeah, he's probably going to be F5 in the end, I think. If I just go to here, go to positions, forwards, average. If you have Flanders, Zorko, Heaney, Caldwell, and probably Graham Myers already. So if you have that 5 and you need an F6, I'd go Dylan Moore. Definitely over Luke Jackson. So yeah, I'd be looking at that. And I'm intrigued to actually see with the Melbourne team list if Gawn is back by actually back by this weekend, because that'll massively impact Luke Jackson. I think that may chuck Luke Jackson down by 20 points, just because Sean Darcy's going to be back. But if he's playing a secondary ruck, they may try and use Luke Jackson a little bit more if it's a Harrison Petty rather than a Max Gawn. So that'll be interesting to see about Gawn. But Dylan Moore, I think he's the F6, F7 type of guy alongside the likes of Luke Jackson. And I will be looking at getting Graham Myers probably in the foreseeable future, but we'll see about that. But yeah, Dylan Moore, he's doing really, really well. Usually he just had a down game against the likes of... who was in the end Fremantle. I think he bounces back and has 20 touches here against Collingwood. He's been going 26, 29, 18, 19, 27. So when he gets above 20 touches, he really does absolutely fly. So, yeah, just needs to get to 20 touches basically, and he'll really get going. Lucky Whitfield, really like this move as well. He's been on fire recently, and yeah, he's going to be the best defender, it looks like, at the moment when he doesn't get tagged, which he really shouldn't, given the run home here. So, like I was saying in, I think it was the review, I really want to see if I can VC him, but I don't think there's any valuable VCs coming up for him. So we'll see about that each weekend, whether we can actually VC him or not. But anyway, that's just the thought process. Like, he's that good that he's almost in VC potential or C potential. So I would be looking at that. Paddy Cripps against North, another guy that I haven't looked at, but I just want the more known value of the likes of Dunkley rather than Cripps, who's dropped a couple of 60s before. He's dropped 2 60s, a 70, and 5 90s is that? So he's only timed in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's only timed in 9 out of 17 games. So I'm just going for Dunkley, who's timed 4 more times, to be honest with you, and averages 10 more. Yes, he's more expensive, but like that's the why. But if you can't get Dunkley, I'd be going for Cripps. Probably next up after if you're going for your pure midfielder. Colby, no, I don't really rate this too much. I think Fish is coming back in this week, I would suspect, given that he just, the Dylan Stevens is just shocking for North. So I think that, and I also think the fact that Sydney kicked 20 goals, 18, they kicked 18 behinds. He had 9 kickouts, and I think he had something like 35 points from kickouts. Let me actually I think you can double check this. Let me just go to here, fantasy team breakdown, team averages. I think it's in this section here, last 5. I can go to, is it North? There we go. And then I can go to the likes of, where is he? Kick-ins would be the one that I'm looking for. Colby McKercher here. And then we go to here, and he had 0 points from kick-ins, apparently. Scores resulting from kick-ins after an opposition goal. I don't think that's necessarily right. Throw-in, turnover. I don't know if they've got that right, because I know he had 9 kick-ins at 100%. So I'm trying to figure out how that actually works, because he definitely had the kick-ins. So whether that falls under turnover or something like that, I don't know exactly. Because, he definitely had the kick-ins, I can tell you that. 9 kick-ins at 100%, so he should have at least 27 points here. In here, I would suspect. So I don't know whether that's just broken or not, or what happened there. They had 156 points from kick-ins. Let me just see how that's... He had 13 points, 1 kick-in, so I don't know how that works out necessarily, but I can tell you that he gets a lot of his points from kick-ins. He had 11 this week. He's had 20 in the last 2 weeks, which probably amounts to, off of kick-ins in general, he's probably profited, I would say, 80 points in the last 2 weeks, and that's 40% of his points. So I'm just a little bit worried about him that Zach Fish comes back in and he cuts his kick-outs by like 4 or 5. They may not even kick 18 behinds. If they don't kick 18 behinds and he only has like 10 behinds to kick in from, he already has like 3 or 4 less. And then add another kick-in taker, that's another 2 or 3 off as well. So he may be down to 4 or 5 kick-ins. And 4 or 5 kick-ins probably knocks another 10 or so off. So we'll see how that works there with that. Roll Marshall, I understand this as well, but I don't know how many people are actually getting in a ruck per se, just because Max Gawn injury is probably coming back. So they may have already... The only thing I could think about this is they held on to Max Gawn for a week, and now they're trying to trade him out. I would say Roll Marshall probably... I don't know, because it was just a wet game in general, and he had 9 tackles and 48 hitouts. He usually only has like 25 hitouts, so that's already 25 points and another 20 points in tackles. So I think his numbers were abnormally large just because of the rain, I think. But West Coast this week, Flynn I think is back anyway, so we'll watch that space anyway. So that could be an interesting one to look at. Zorko, don't go here. Actually, now thinking about it, I said Zorko, I understand that. He's a good primo. And then I looked over, playing this one, no. Getting the James Jordan tag, no thank you. Luke Jackson, and I'm not even going to say do it even if he doesn't get it. Like, as in, if you think just because the tag threat's there, so don't go for it. Don't go for him, don't put him VC, don't put him captain, anything there. Just, if he goes large, he goes large, and if you have him, you have him. Like, these are one of the ones that you just got to stomach if you have it. And if he scores well, like Whitfield did against the JJ tag, he scored like a 105, which was kind of really weird. Then it works out, I guess. But yeah, I wouldn't go there. Luke Jackson, don't go there. Connor Rizzi, yes, definitely. Lockie Neal copping a tag this week. Either Dane Zorko or Lockie Neal is copping a tag. But there's also an end clause in there that Lockie Neal gets the row bottom tag and James Jordan gets, Zane Zorko gets the James Jordan tag. So I wouldn't go near both just because of the looming tag threat. Trent Rivers, I just think he's just... I just don't get what happened here in this game. I don't think he was necessarily tagged in it. So I think he just got off to a really good start in this first game here. He got a 55, maybe a 60 in the first quarter. Let me actually just double check that. I thought he went off to an absolute flyer in that game. And let me just double check for you guys. Melbourne, this one. Trent Rivers had a 53 first quarter, so he had 73 in the back three. I don't know if this is necessarily the one I'd go for yet. Maybe next week if he backs it up again. I'm just a little bit worried about it, just fractionally. So yeah, I would just wait one more week with this one, just because he's had two easy matchups and Brisbane, and he's had easier matchups in West Coast and North. He also had Brisbane where he didn't score well. Collingwood at the time had no midfield, so he scored well there. And that was that the game that Petrarca went down as well, so he got moved into that position. And then also this Essendon game, it was wet, and he just got a lot of dump kicks out of there. So I would just wait a little bit on this one. Just want to see this Fremantle game, who are a decent opposition, want to see that. And then we can reassess if he actually is scoring against good sides or whether it's just he had a good run against poor sides. Because he did score against Fremantle a 71. I know it was in a different role, but we'll see how he goes in the new role against Fremantle. And then all these guys are basically under a K, so they don't really matter too much, so we won't go through them. But anyway, that is the video there of the trade targets, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow for my team reveal. My Supercoach one will be very quick, given that I have no trades, and then also my my tips for round 19, as well as going through round 18 tips. So I'll see you guys in those videos tomorrow. Bye, guys.